Hi, it's Jenny Powers, author of Empowered, the Woman's Guide to Following Your Heart's Woman on a mission to change the world, to awaken all of us to our best selves, and Emmy Award-winning talk show host, creator of the YouTube channel Jenny Powers, and woman in every single moment, always following her heart. So, I wanted to share the next truth in my book, which is entitled, Be Willing to Not Know. There are goodbyes in my life right now, connected to things that I don't want to leave. But I know that I'm meant to. I trust these goodbyes. In this moment, I can't see how these goodbyes are necessary for my best life, or how they fit into the bigger plan. But I will still say goodbye. I still trust that I am meant to. Living in this space after goodbye, before the next beginning has arrived, is hard. I don't know what will come next, but I am willing to sit in this space after these goodbyes. I am willing to not know. In your life, trust the goodbyes that you know you need to make and say them. Then be willing to sit in the space that follows them. Be willing to not know, because miraculous beginnings are coming. So this one is so relevant in my life. I feel like I have been walking around with a sense of, I guess maybe fear or dread of what's going to happen when I shoot my last video, and I don't have any more truths in my book, and then what? And the second that I read this truth, I realized that I have to not know. I have to be willing to not know. I have to take this step and say, shoot the last video, put all of these out there, and trust that miraculous beginnings that I could never even envision are on their way. And I think this truth is really important, and it's also really hard to live with, to say goodbye. And whether it's to a job, to a relationship, to a pattern in your life, to a voice in your head that tells you you are unworthy, whatever it is in your life that first popped into your head when I say, know the goodbyes that you need to say and trust that you have to say them. Because the second that we realize that we are capable of walking away from things that don't benefit us, and that we are capable of creating our own destiny by saying, this is not serving me anymore, and so I'm willing to walk away. And I think so often we stay in a place of waiting for that next thing to arrive before we say goodbye to the thing in our life. And I think it works in the reverse way. I know I've always used the metaphor where if I look at my closet and think, oh, I don't really like those 2 or 3 things, I wish I had that, and I'll sort of hold on to the old and wait for the new. But the truth of the matter is you have to be willing to let go of the old to make room for the new. So you have to be willing to let go of the pieces of clothing that you don't want, to have free hangers in your closet for the things that you want to come into your life. So obviously this is a metaphor and an analogy for you have to be willing to say goodbye before you maybe know what's coming next. But trust yourself, the things that popped into your head. I know the things in my life, like these videos, I have to be willing to shoot the last one and maybe say goodbye to these and sit in the space of not knowing. I have to be willing to not know what's coming next. And that's scary because I think we're all wired to want to know everything. And as I said in the last truth, you have to learn to surrender, to say, I don't know. And there's power in that because you're not expected to know everything. So know the goodbyes that you need to say in your life. It's hard and scary and challenging. Believe me, I don't take any of this lightly. There are goodbyes in my life that I've had to make, friendships or relationships or things that just weren't serving me, and it broke my heart to say goodbye, but I knew I had to. I knew I had to grow out of these things, and the only way to do that was to say goodbye. So it's inspiring, it's wonderful, it's not sad, it's brilliant, because miraculous beginnings are coming. If you are willing to say goodbye to the things in your life that don't benefit you anymore, I promise you, new things are on their way. They are bigger and bolder and more extraordinary than you could have ever imagined or dreamt of. So be willing to not know. Be willing to say the goodbyes in your life that you need to say, and trust that miraculous beginnings are on their way. Bye.